Everybody home, check the polls, quantify. See how many people, the quantity of our crowd, the people who still have the interest, all of that. And the result was mind-boggling. So we were so excited about that result, the first survey, and we knew that hundreds of thousands are still interested in this journey and super excited, and they're actually willing to stick around no matter what time it takes. Second survey, we said, okay, we got a big number here, but are they all qualified to move forward to the next thing? Because we're not repeating the old, we're going up. It's only getting better, right? Okay.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to take source material, really cut through the noise, and pull out the insights that matter, giving you that shortcut to, well, being genuinely informed.
Exactly.
Today, we are immersing ourselves in quite a comprehensive vision. It's all about growth, transformation, and this idea of shared prosperity. Our focus is on a pretty unique and, frankly, ambitious claim. It's laid out in a foundational document that details the future projected for a specific group, the on-passive founders. The document's title is On Passive, Automation, Freedom, and Founder Prosperity.
Right.
And our mission for you today isn't just a summary. We want to unpack the core claims, look at the actual mechanisms they describe for financial freedom, understand the role of technology, AI, and automation, and the architecture behind this community-driven success that's promised.
And what really jumps out, I think, and give this whole thing its weight is the context the source uses. It's framing this moment not just as, another product launch or company expansion.
Yeah.
It calls it the dawn of a new era. Compares it to major historical movements, suggesting a real fundamental shift in how value gets created and, crucially, distributed.
And the figurehead, the visionary behind this, according to the source, is Ash Mufareh.
Yes.
The document makes it clear his intention wasn't just another tech company, even a highly profitable one. The vision was explicitly about building a platform, one engineered to let ordinary people unlock extraordinary opportunities. That's the phrasing.
It really positions itself as a mechanism for, mass upliftment, not just creating wealth for a select few at top.
Right.
And that immediately, and analyze this, when assist claims it's bringing about a rising moment for founders who've been patient, who believed, well, then we have to look very closely at what's supposed to be driving them.
That's the engine.
Exactly. The foundation seems to be built on changing that age-old relationship between someone's effort, their time, and their income. It's basically saying technology, specifically this technology, can essentially eliminate financial stress for potentially millions globally.
That's a bold claim.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dig into that first big piece, financial freedom. Section 1 is about decoding the shift from, as the source puts it, stress to choice. Right. So this central idea, redefining financial freedom. The source material, it immediately pushes back against just thinking about it as, a number in your bank account. It argues true financial freedom is really about having choices, the power to choose.
And that distinction, that's really the core of the narrative, isn't it? It feels very rooted in this philosophy of abundance, moving away from scarcity. Scarcity forces your hand, right? You have to take that job, you have to work those hours, bills come first.
You're always reacting.
Exactly. You react. But the source argues that by framing success as access to choice, the founder moves from reacting to, being proactive, making deliberate decisions about their life.
And it gets specific about these choices, too. It's not just vague freedom. It lists things like deciding exactly how you use your time, which is finite, after all.
The most finite resource.
Yeah. The choice of where you might travel, the ability to decide who or what causes you want to support financially, and, critically, how you care for your family without that constant low-level panic.
And the contrast it paints is really stark. It describes that prior state for potentially many founders, the anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck.
We've all felt that pressure.
Absolutely. That constant worry about bills, about loans, student debt, school fees for the kids, these huge pressures. The promise here is that the system generates enough stability that those anxieties just recede. You start seeing a
different horizon. It sounds less about just buying fancy things and more about achieving a baseline of dignity, of stability.
Yeah.
So how does the source claim this stability is actually built? Is it just hoping the market goes up, or is it engineered?
Oh, it's definitely positioned as engineered. The source is emphatic. This wealth isn't based on luck or speculation. It's presented as a designed outcome,
Okay.
based on three pillars working together: advanced technology, pervasive automation, and this unified global vision. The whole system is supposedly engineered to create predictable, recurring income.
Recurring is key there.
It is. That focus on recurrence is what supposedly allows the founder to shift from worrying constantly to making proactive choices with stability. It's framed as a high-tech answer to the scarcity problem.
So the takeaway is, if you have that reliable income stream coming in, the tech hasn't just given you money.
Yeah.
It's giving you back control over your time, your decisions. Autonomy.
Autonomy, that's a great word for it.
And if autonomy is the goal, what's the vehicle? What's actually driving this? That takes us into the engine room.
Oh.
Right. Section 2, this gets into the how. If stability and choice are the destinations, the engine powering it all has to be pretty robust. The source says the entire on-passive ecosystem runs on artificial intelligence and comprehensive automation. So let's break that down. What's the core difference automation makes for a founder here?
Well, the fundamental difference, according to the material, is that it breaks that traditional economic contract.
Trading hours for money.
Exactly. In almost any traditional job, you're stuck in that loop. Your presence, your time equals your income. The source argues that with on-passive, because the system is doing the active work, the founder isn't bound by that anymore.
So you shift from being the worker to
What?
an owner.
Sort of. More like a leveraged beneficiary of turning the crank that the AI is, forms the founder's role.
Okay, but for that level of freedom, the system must be doing some serious heavy lifting. AI is a buzzword. We hear it everywhere. How does the source explain how this AI provides freedom in a way traditional work just can't? What's it actually doing?
That's where the claim gets really interesting. The AI isn't just described as, crunching numbers. It's designed to execute the really time-consuming parts of running a business. The very things that normally tie a person down for hours every day.
Like what specifically?
Think about the entire sales and marketing process. The source suggests the AI handles lead generation, finding potential customers. It optimizes marketing campaigns automatically. It manages repetitive communications, scales the underlying infrastructure as needed, even processes transactions. It finds, attracts, engages, and converts, all automated.
Wow. Okay, so instead of a founder spending, say, half their day manually sending emails, tweaking ads, following up, the AI is just running in the background, constantly optimizing and scaling all that. 24/7.
Precisely. The AI basically acts as your always-on, hyper-efficient sales, marketing, and operations team. And the source uses this really evocative illustration to capture the result.
I remember reading that.
Yeah, they ask you to, quote, imagine waking up in the morning and realizing that while you slept, your business grew, commissions accumulated, and your digital wallet reflected new earnings.
That phrase, while you slept, that's not just marketing fluff, is it? That's the literal definition of passive income generation. Your earnings are decoupled from your active, real-time effort.
Exactly. It signifies that the technology itself is delivering the freedom that working hour by hour structurally cannot provide.
It completely changes the founder's role then.
Completely. They're not bogged down in the execution, the grunt work. Their focus can shift maybe to higher level strategy or community building or just leveraging the system's outputs, knowing that the really demanding time-sucking parts generating commissions, expanding the reach, are running on autopilot across different time zones globally.
That level of technological leverage, that's the core promise underpinning the whole new lifestyle claim. Okay, now we need to get really specific about the mechanics. We've got the engine automation and AI, but where does the actual money, the income, come from? Section 3 talks about moving beyond monthly salaries is the only way. It points to passive streams. The source lists several key tools, proprietary on-passive tools. Let's define these and figure out their intended roles in generating revenue.
Right, we need clarity on these components. The source really highlights three main income pillars, plus this important layer of savings.
Okay, let's start with the one that sounds like the financial core, O-Wallet. What's its job? How does it generate income?
O-Wallet is presented as the ecosystem's main financial hub. Think of it as the internal digital wallet and transaction system. It's where commissions are said to accumulate, where founders manage their earnings.
So commissions generated elsewhere flow into O-Wallet.
That seems to be the implication. Revenues from other tools get distributed via this internal system. Its design suggests everything is tightly integrated, so as transaction volume grows across the platform, it directly fuels the founder's O-Wallet balance. It's the central clearinghouse.
Got it. Next up, O-Connect. The name suggests communication, connectivity. In today's world, that's a huge market. How does a communication platform allegedly create recurring income for founders?
OConnect is described as an AI-powered communication suite, likely something akin to video conferencing, webinars, collaboration tools aiming to compete with existing platforms.
Okay, so think Zoom or Teams, but with an AI angle.
Potentially, yes. The revenue generation here would likely come from subscriptions, perhaps usage fees, or premium features that users, both founders and external customers, pay for. As OConnect gains users globally, the recurring fees collected would generate commissions, creating that steady, potentially compounding income stream tied to its market adoption.
Makes sense. And the third big one mentioned is OShop. Sounds like e-commerce. What's the claim mechanism there?
Yeah, OShop is positioned as the platform's e-commerce marketplace. So growth here means founders earning commissions from sales happening on this platform.
Sales of what? On Passive's own products or other people's stuff?
It could be both, maybe proprietary on passive digital tools or services, but likely also third-party vendors using OShop as their storefront. The key, again, is the automation. The AI supposedly handles market discovery, optimizes product listings, streamlines the checkout process, all to maximize sales and thus commissions, again, minimizing the active work needed from the founder.
Okay, so we have the central wallet, O-Wallet, subscription usage income from communications, O-Connect, and sales commissions from e-commerce, O-Shop. But you mentioned savings as well. How does that fit in?
Right. The source emphasizes this dual benefit. It's not just about earning money. Founders also save money because they can use OnPassive's own suite of AI tools, maybe marketing tools, design tools, whatever they offer for their own needs, instead of paying monthly fees to external companies like, say, Adobe or Salesforce or whoever.
So it reduces their own business or personal expenses. That's like an extra income stream in itself.
Exactly. It's an efficiency dividend. Your outgoings decrease while these other potential income streams are multiplying.
So when you put it all together, commissions flowing into O-Wallet, recurring earnings from O-Connect subscriptions, growth from O-Shop sales, plus the savings, the document claims this fundamentally rewrites financial destinies. It's that journey from stress to stability we talked about.
And importantly, the source material frames this transformation not as some far-off dream, but as something currently unfolding. It argues that because the ecosystem is designed for global expansion from day one, the stability it offers isn't dependent on just one local economy.
So it's diversified by default.
That's the idea. Global scaling, with users potentially using OConnect in India, OShop customers in Europe, etc., creates a broad, dynamic base for the founder's passive income. The transformation is meant to feel systemic, predictable, almost guaranteed by the structure.
Okay, this brings us to what might be the most unique, maybe even controversial part of the vision, this idea of shared prosperity. We've talked about the tech engine, but the philosophy driving how the profits are distributed. The source calls it communal success. It explicitly says founders are partners, not competitors, scrapping over the same leads or sales.
Yeah, this is a direct pushback against the standard competitive zero-sum game model you see in many industries.
Totally.
And the source introduces two specific mechanics that are supposedly key to this: spillover and team growth. We really need to unpack how these are intended to work because they're central to the whole shared aspect.
Let's start with spillover.
Yeah.
Usually if I win a customer, you might lose out. Spillover sounds like the opposite. How does the source describe this positive connection?
Spillover, as it's presented, means that when new users or customers join the OnPassive ecosystem without being directly referred by a specific founder.
So maybe they found it through corporate advertising or just stumbled upon it.
Exactly. Those new arrivals aren't just left floating. The system's architecture is apparently designed to automatically place these new members under existing founder accounts in the structure.
Interesting. So the system itself distributes the growth.
That's the claim. It distributes the lifeblood new users across the entire founder base. The idea is that everyone benefits from the overall growth and marketing efforts of the company itself, not just the super recruiters.
So the rising tide from the company's efforts lifts all founder boats, even those who might not be actively building a huge personal network themselves.
That's the core idea behind spillover. It aims to guarantee that the success generated by that automated engine we talked about is shared widely. It's a deliberate contrast to traditional models where your success is almost entirely down to your personal hustle and recruitment. Here, the system's structure is meant to ensure some level of growth and placement.
Okay, so that's spillover. How does team growth fit in and reinforce that?
Team growth is the more traditional aspect, where founders do benefit from expanding their own network, bringing people in directly. But the key difference is how it interacts with spillover. When your own team grows, it supposedly multiplies the benefits you receive from the system-wide spillover.
Ah, so there's still an incentive to build, but it's cooperative.
It creates an incentive structure where helping the people you brought in succeed actually maximizes your own potential benefits from the wider system. It's designed to encourage collaboration, mentoring within teams, rather than that dog-eat-dog competition. The source literally says the system is designed to lift people together. Individual gain is tied to collective momentum.
A mechanism trying to fight that winner-take-all tendency, making sure, as they put it, everyone has a chance to taste success. And this isn't just local, right? The document emphasizes this global family of founders.
Yes, and the global scale is absolutely critical for sustaining those recurring income streams from O-Connect, O-Shop, etc. The source makes a point of mentioning founders across continents, cultures, languages, citing Kenya, India, the USA, Europe as examples.
Why is that global reach so important, beyond just market size?
Well, market size is huge for resilience, obviously. If one region slows down, others might be booming. But it also reinforces the family or movement aspect. It unites people across borders with a shared goal and potentially shared financial success. It makes the good times, as the source calls them, feel less isolated and more like a truly global phenomenon, reinforced constantly.
Let's talk about the ripple effect then. The source claims this isn't just about founders getting rich, it impacts families, communities. What does that look like on the ground, according to the material? Can we be specific?
It offers some really tangible, relatable examples, things that address deep-seated anxieties. For instance, the fear around education costs just evaporating. School fees get paid, not just this month, but reliably, maybe even setting funds aside for university down the line.
That alone would change lives.
Hugely. Or think about healthcare. A major medical bill can bankrupt families. The source suggests founders reach a point where those events, while still serious, don't trigger financial panic. There's stability to absorb the shock.
And even basic necessities. You mentioned groceries earlier.
Right. It contrasts the stress of having to ration food or budget every single meal with a future where groceries are abundant, where you're not just meeting needs, but maybe fulfilling wants, helping neighbors, sharing the abundance.
So the founder effectively transforms from someone seeking opportunity to someone providing it, in a way, becoming a role model, maybe a local benefactor.
Exactly. They become living proof within their community that this kind of technologically driven prosperity is possible. It potentially shifts the local mindset from one of persistent struggle to one of potential and possibility. Prosperity becomes a tool for community stability, not just personal gain.
Okay, so we've looked at the AI and automation. We've looked at the financial architecture, O-Wallet, Connect, Shop, the shared prosperity model. Section 5 brings it all home, arguing that the real prize isn't the money itself. It's time freedom, which the source calls the most valuable currency of all.
It's a really powerful way to frame the end goal, I think.
Yeah.
Because it circles back to quality of life, to human experience. Financial security enables it, but time freedom is the actual outcome you live day to day.
And the source highlights this by focusing on what gets subtracted from your life, the anxieties of traditional work.
Right. Let's list those subtractions it mentions.
Okay.
It explicitly talks about no rush to work. So gone is the stressful commute, that feeling of always being late.
The daily grind.
Yeah. Then no boss breathing down your neck. That removes the emotional weight of constantly reporting to someone, seeking approval, fearing criticism.
That's huge for mental health.
Absolutely. And maybe the biggest one, no fear of layoffs. That constant underlying insecurity that exists in so many jobs, even high-paying ones, is supposedly removed because your income isn't tied to one employer's decisions, but to the system's performance.
Removing those fears, that frees up enormous mental energy. It allows the founder to genuinely control their own schedule, right? To dictate the rhythm of their own life.
That's the essence of the choice it provides, a comprehensive choice. When do you engage with the on-passive system? When do you rest? When do you finally take that trip you've dreamed about? When do you dedicate serious time to a hobby or personal growth or just being present with your family?
That quality time aspect feels really central.
It does. Having extended, unhurried time with kids, building deeper connections with partners, maybe finally learn that instrument or language. These become real possibilities when your time isn't constantly demanded by work.
And then the source connects this time freedom directly to happiness. But not just hedonistic happiness, right?
Yeah.
It emphasizes that money isn't the point. It's what the money lets you do that brings true happiness.
Exactly. It focuses on what you might call consequential happiness. The examples given shift towards altruism and contribution.
Like what?
The joy of giving back. Using the resources and the time you now have to fund local projects, maybe start a scholarship, support family members who are struggling, get involved in philanthropy in a meaningful way because your own foundation is secure.
And underpinning all of that activity, all that giving, is that sense of emotional security. Knowing that your bills are covered, your future is stable. That allows you to rest without anxiety, to dream bigger for yourself and others.
Absolutely. That peace of mind is almost like a silent, unlisted benefit or commission. The system, as described, aims to provide that security first, which then frees up the mental and emotional bandwidth needed to pursue fulfillment and make an impact. You're liberated from survival mode.
And finally, the source brings it back to the founder, Ash Mufareh. It reiterates his stated purpose, that the whole project was ultimately about lifting humanity.
It concludes by framing this whole outcome, the financial freedom, the time, the happiness as the intended result for every founder who believed in the vision, stayed the course during development, and became part of this movement. The good times aren't luck. They're positioned as the fulfillment of the technological and communal promise. #tag outro.
Wow. Okay, that was a really detailed exploration of the source material, outlining this future design for on-passive founders. Let's try and synthesize the key takeaways from this complex vision. We looked at a system promising passive income streams, driven heavily by automation and AI.
Right, using integrated tools like O-Wallet for finance, O-Connect for communication, O-Shop for e-commerce.
And we spent a good amount of time unpacking that unique structure of shared prosperity. This idea built on specific mechanics like spillover and team growth.
Mechanisms designed, theoretically, to lift the entire global community of founders together, creating a robust and collective financial base rather than just individual success stories.
And the ultimate payoff claim for the individual founder isn't just the money, but the resulting time freedom and that deep emotional security, the ability to choose how you spend your life, basically.
Yeah.
Moving from reacting to anxieties to proactively shaping your future and maybe your communities too.
Yeah, the information we reviewed lays out a very ambitious blueprint. It's where technology, automation, and a specific community model are meant to intersect to deliver, well, unprecedented abundance and joy for the members. The founder is positioned as a beneficiary of a machine that's constantly scaling, optimizing itself, operating globally.
The focus really does seem to stay on that collective success, which in turn guarantees the individual's stability.
That's the core loop described.
Which leaves us, and you, the listener, with a final thought to consider, building on all this. If technology and automation are genuinely reshaping work and income, this drastically, through passive generation, guaranteed distribution like spillover, how do these systems, built on shared prosperity, maintain the delicate balance? The balance between maximizing individual financial success, which is a powerful motivator,
Right.
and upholding that huge collective mission of lifting humanity that they champion. Is that balance inherent in the tech, or does it require something more? That's the critical structural question, isn't it? Does the sheer power and scale of the automation automatically ensure that communal goal is met equitably? Or, as this global structure expands rapidly, does maintaining that balance between individual gain and collective uplift require continuous, conscious governance and adjustment to prevent potential imbalances from creeping in? A fascinating question. And that's a deep dive for you to continue exploring. Thanks for joining us.
And outline the risks involved. Basically, we want to give you a clear picture of what income they're promising, and just as importantly, what conditions absolutely have to be met for those promises to, actually happen. And the structure itself, it's kind of fascinating, isn't it? It's all built on leveraging network growth geometrically. The numbers they throw around, they're designed to make you stop and listen. We're going to unpack these projections figures reaching apparently hundreds of thousands of US dollars a month in some places under ideal conditions. When you hear numbers like that tied to passive income, that's where you really need to understand the mechanics behind it all. It gets very interesting.
It really does. And that's the critical starting point, isn't it? When you see firms suggesting, potential millions annually from a network structure, the immediate question shouldn't just be, wow, but hang on, how? How is this thing engineered to potentially produce that? What are the dependencies? What has to hold true in the real world? Our focus here is purely on analyzing the model, the structure, the claims, not endorsing them. We to look past the headline numbers. We have to engine the required stability, the external factors that need to fall into place.
Okay, let's unpack that engine then. Step one. If you're in this system as a founder or an affiliate, how does the money actually flow? It's not about one-off sales, is it?
No, exactly. The whole premise, the foundation of this, is built on recurring income, residual income. That's the key term.
Yeah.
It's generated from ongoing payment subscriptions, packages made by people in your network. This isn't just a one-time commission. It's supposed to be a continuous stream long after you might have recruited someone. That's the leverage potential they talk about.
Right. The recurring part is crucial for that compounding effect they promise. Let's break down those payment levels, the tiers.
Absolutely. So the income comes from these recurring payments. The sources detail a tiered system, often called matrix tiers or packages. You've got distinct price points. Typically, you hear about $25, $125, $250, and a $500 level.
So as an affiliate, you're essentially selling access to. Is it a product suite at these levels, or is it just the right to earn commissions tied to these fees?
It's presented as both, really, which brings us to this idea of cumulative earning. The commissions are recurring monthly, or, as long as the subscription is active. Now, about the tiers. If you're in a higher tier package, you can earn commissions from all the lower tier activity happening below you in the network. That's the cumulative earning piece.
Okay, can you give us a quick example? How does that cumulative earning work in practice?
Sure. Let's say you subscribe at the top, the $500 package. Okay, now imagine someone way down in your network, maybe five levels, buy the basic $25 package. You, $500 level, would earn a commission on that $25 recurring fee. But here's the catch. If you had only subscribed at, say, the $125 level, you'd get commissions from the 25 and 125 activity below you, sure, but you'd completely miss out on any commissions generated from people buying the $250 or $500 packages in your downline. So the higher your own package, the wider the range of income you can potentially tap into from your network.
Okay, that makes it immediately clear why there's a strong push for people to get into those higher tiers, regardless of whether they need all the tools at that level.
Yeah.
It's about maximizing commission potential.
Exactly. It incentivizes upgrading.
Now, to make that kind of income compound across potentially thousands of people, you need a very specific structure, right?
Yeah.
A network architecture.
Indeed. And that leads us to the mathematical core, the multi-level or matrix structure. The system uses a very rigid 3x10 forced matrix. That's our key. It dictates placement and depth. The 3 means each person, founder, affiliate, whoever, can only have 3 people directly underneath them. That's it, a fixed limit.
So if I'm good at recruiting and I bring in 5 people, that 4th and 5th person can't sit on my first level.
Correct. They must fall somewhere else further down in the structure. That's the forced aspect. And the 10, that refers to the depth. The network builds down through levels, typically described as going 10 levels deep. And that's where the numbers get, well, really big. Let's just think about the geometry for a second. Level 1, 0.3 people. Level 2, 3 times 3, so 9 people. Level 3, 27. Keep going. Level 5 has 243 spots. Level 10, just a single level down. It has space 59,049 people.
Wow, okay. Over 59,000 just on the 10th level. So a full 3x10 matrix holds, what, something like 88,500 people in total?
Roughly, yes. Over 88,000 positions in a fully populated 3x10 structure.
That scale certainly helps explain the potential. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are cracking open an internal message that's really become much more than just a notification.
Oh, absolutely.
It's turned into this foundational declaration, a really powerful and, well, highly intentional mandate, delivered right to the heart of the entire on-passive ecosystem.
Right into the OES.
Exactly. So we're diving deep into the strategy and, I suppose, the psychology behind excerpts from Rise, Reset, Refocus, on-passive's call to action.
And what's so interesting here, and the source material highlights this straight away, is the context, how you receive this message.
Yeah, it's not buried somewhere.
Not at all. Not in some long email or a memo you might skim. No, this is critical enough, demanding enough, that it actually takes over the OES dashboard.
The on-passive ecosystem dashboard, yeah.
So you log in, maybe you're a founder, an affiliate, expecting, the usual updates, maybe commission figures, product news.
Standard stuff.
Right. And instead, bam! Those 3 words dominate your screen. It's an immediate demand for a pause, a strategic pause.
A moment of reflection.
And ultimately, a call to unified action. It's really quite something.
It is. It's designed, it feels like, to just stop you in your tracks. It doesn't feel passive at all.
No.
It feels personal, almost like a direct ping from the leadership saying, okay, pause, breathe, Think about where we've been and where we're going.
And the documentation we've looked at is clear on this. This pop-up, it signals a moment of deep inflection. It's not just a technical update.
Far from it.
It signals a shift in operational philosophy, really.
And that strategic inflection point, well, that defines our mission for this deep dive, doesn't it?
It does. We need to unpack not just the simple meaning, but the whole strategic, emotional, and importantly, the technical significance of these three words. Rise, reset, refocus.
Powerful words.
Very. And we have to analyze this not just as, some corporate branding exercise or a catchy slogan.
No, it's deeper.
It's a critical artifact, directly inspired, the source says, by Ash Mufareh's big vision that started back in 2018. That vision for global transformation using AI.
So for you listening, whether you're a founder who's been there since the start, maybe a newer affiliate, or perhaps just someone curious about how these large digital platforms work internally.
Their culture, their drivers.
Exactly. Our goal today is pretty straightforward. We want you to walk away understanding what this pivotal dashboard message means for OnPassive's next big chapter.
And crucially, how it should inform your own involvement, your own strategy going forward.
Okay, let's unpack the power of three. All right, let's start with just the simplicity of it, the language. Why only 3 words? I mean, we're drowning in information these days, aren't we?
Constantly. Notifications, emails, white papers, endless streams of text.
And then this lands. Just 3 words, it's stark, it's brief. And the source material basically argues that's the whole point. 3 words are enough to shift a mindset.
And I think that brevity is the core of its power. It makes the message, well, almost inescapable.
You can't ignore it.
You really can't. The source documentation suggests, and it makes sense, that in a massive complex system like OnPassive, if you want a message to stick universally.
Across global teams.
Exactly. It needs to bypass that usual cognitive resistance. Lengthy explanations, people analyze them, pick them apart.
But 3 words.
They demand immediate internalization. It's simple. They function as the foundational metaphors, cutting right through the technical jargon, getting straight to the strategic core.
Easy to remember, easy to share.
Instantly communicable, and they articulate an entire philosophy in like a single breath.
So these aren't just dictionary definitions, they're operational commands, metaphors laying the groundwork for what comes next.
Precisely. Foundational metaphors.
Okay, give us the breakdown. What does the source define for each word? Let's start with rise.
Right, rise. This one taps into the emotional journey. It speaks directly to courage, to endurance. It's not just about standing up.
It's standing up stronger.
Exactly. Stronger than before. Leveraging the lessons learned, overcoming maybe the external skepticism, managing any internal doubts people had along the way.
It implies moving upwards.
An upward trajectory, definitely. Both, literally for platform performance, but also figuratively. Personal growth, professional standards, it sets the bar higher.
Okay. Then we pivot to reset. That sounds more technical.
It has that feel, but it's broader. Reset signifies profound renewal. It's like hitting the clean slate button conceptually.
Letting go of the past.
Yes. Shedding past frustrations, maybe disappointments from the long build-up phase. Any periods where things felt stagnant. It's an internal cleansing, a system refresh.
But now starting from scratch.
Crucially, no. The source is clear on that. A reset isn't starting over. It means keeping the core vision, the underlying hardware, if you will.
But optimizing the software.
Optimizing the entire operating system for maximum efficiency. Getting rid of the bugs, the legacy issues.
Which brings us to refocus. That feels like the execution phase. The mental shift needed after the reset.
It's the target, the end goal of the first two. Achieving crystalline clarity. Refocus means channeling all that renewed energy, that streamlined attention,
Towards what really matters.
towards the shared, massive objective of the whole ecosystem. It's about rigorously filtering out the noise, the distractions,
And prioritizing.
prioritizing actions that drive immediate, mission-critical results. So, if rise is the courage and reset is the optimization.
Refocus is the precision aim.
That's a good way to put it, precision aim.
What's fascinating reading the material is how it ties this 3-word metaphor directly to the company's own story. It's not random.
Not at all. It acknowledges a journey.
The long, winding road. Years of innovation, setbacks, victories, breakthroughs. It's all baked in.
Absolutely. The message itself acts like a historical marker within the OnPassive narrative. It's a public declaration, even if internally directed.
Saying what exactly?
Essentially, the next chapter has arrived. This is the signal flare.
Okay, the prep work is done.
Pretty much. It tells founders, affiliates, everyone, Everything up till now, the multi-year development, the waiting, it was all necessary groundwork. But that phase, it's over.
And the new mandate.
It's clear. It's aggressive. Rise higher in your ambition, reset any ancient strategies, and refocus the collective vision onto the huge global scale that tech now supports.
Okay, let's spend some real time on each phase now, starting with rise. There's a definite emotional weight to that word, isn't there?
There really is.
The source material makes a point of acknowledging, quite openly, the difficult journey for many founders. It doesn't gloss over the years of waiting.
It can't afford to, I think. That shared struggle is part of the glue. The journey was long. It required immense patience.
And the source mentions specifics.
Oh, yes. Moments of deep uncertainty, periods where progress felt incredibly slow, and those seasons when critics tried to tear down the dream.
Doubters questioning if it would ever launch or if the scale was even possible.
Exactly. So Rise becomes the definitive, triumphant answer to all that. It's the vindication moment.
It's powerful because it asks members to actively choose persistence, right, over fear.
That theme must resonate incredibly deeply with the early adopters.
Absolutely. It's about overcoming that internal doubt, reinforcing faith, and anchoring back to Ash Mufari's original huge vision from 2018.
A vision that required enormous belief back then.
And now that belief is being validated, they'd argue, by a fully working integrated ecosystem. The tools are live.
And the analogy the source uses here is potent. The phoenix rising from ashes.
It's not subtle.
No, it's deliberately profound. It positions the community and the company itself not just as survivors of difficulty,
But transformed by it.
precisely
Yeah.
transformed because of the challenges. The ashes could represent old systems, early clunky versions, maybe old ways of thinking.
And the phoenix.
Suggests rebirth, stronger, more resilient, ready to soar, using that past struggle as fuel for the next stage, fuel for growth and massive scale.
Okay, so rise is that resilience, that overcoming. Let's shift to phase 2. Reset. This feels like the technical and organizational engine room of the message.
It definitely connects technology and life optimization, as the source puts it.
You mentioned earlier it's more than just a rebrand. Is this a genuine technical overhaul we're talking about within the OES?
The documentation points that way, yes. The technical reset isn't just cosmetic. It's about wiping away limitations.
Like legacy code, bottlenecks.
Things like that. Stuff that crops up when you scale rapidly. Server issues, database inefficiencies. The reset is about restoring optimal, future-proof performance.
Which is critical if you're aiming for global scale.
Absolutely crucial. Especially with massive transaction volumes, think O-Wallet. The system has to handle it seamlessly.
So the source talks about this OES 2.0 era. What does that actually mean for a founder using it day to day?
It implies a significant leap in capability, system-wide enhancements leading to what the source calls limitless speed, efficiency, and opportunity.
So faster transactions in O-Wallet.
That's one example. Much better stability and capacity for O-Connect webinars, handling potentially huge numbers of simultaneous users.
And faster data from tools like O-Tracker.
Lightning-fast analytics, yes. The reset isn't just tweaking. It sounds like rebuilding the core engine for hyperscale.
But you also mentioned the life reset. That's just as important, isn't it? It's not just about the tech.
Because a 2.0 system needs a 2.0 mindset to match. The life reset is about clearing out the mental clutter.
Distractions, frustrations.
Negativity, old habits that slow you down. Making mental space for the speed and scale of what's now possible. If the system's built for speed, you can't be the bottleneck.
Okay, let's get specific. What actions does this reset, both corporate and personal, actually imply? What should people do?
It's a three-pronged approach, really, combining function and ambition. First, reset old mindsets that limit growth.
Like thinking too locally.
Exactly. If still focused only on local networking, you need to reset to global market thinking. Use OSHOP's international reach, for instance.
Second prong.
Reset broken habits or inefficient systems. Maybe that means shifting team communication from messy email threads to streamlined channels like OChat or OPeer, using the integrated tools.
And the third part. You mentioned compliance earlier with O-Verify. That seems critical for a global reset.
It's absolutely vital. The third part is resetting expectations and, crucially, ensuring compliance for the global stage. The improved O-Verify for OKYC.
On passive, know your customer.
Right. That's not just red tape. It's an architectural pillar. Trust and scalability depend on it.
You can't have a fast global payment system like O-Wallet without reliable verification.
Precisely. The global reset needs a universally verified, trustworthy ecosystem. Fast, secure, legally compliant verification unlocks the speed of OES 2.0 in major markets. This reset prepares the organization to handle a massive influx of new users securely.
Okay, that sets the stage perfectly for phase 3, refocus. Because with all this complexity you've just laid out,
The massive tool suite.
O-Connect, O-Wallet, O-Peer, O-Shop, O-Verify, O-Chat. It's easy to imagine founders feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Totally understandable. And that's where refocus comes in. It's about simplifying that complexity mentally.
How so?
By looking past the individual features and seeing the collective impact of the whole machine. All those tools can create noise if you let them.
What does this source mean by noise?
Anything that pulls energy away from the main mission, short-term complaints, endless debates about minor features, non-essential admin tasks, refocus demands you cut through that.
Eliminate the noise.
Immediately.
And what's the unifying grand vision everyone needs to refocus on? The collective impact.
The source consistently defines it as empowering people globally, helping them live better, work smarter, earn sustainably through digital tools.
The mission statement.
Explicitly, uplifting humanity through intelligent automation. So refocus means ensuring every single daily activity.
Every O-Connect call, every O-Shop sale.
Every O-Tracker report you analyze, it all needs to align directly with that big, ethical, and expansionary mission.
So refocus is about discipline, looking beyond the immediate transaction, seeing your part in the bigger picture, and channeling your energy efficiently towards that.
It's the anchor. With a platform this complex, you need constant reminders of the why. The mandate is figure out how your actions building teams with O-Peer, marketing with O-Trim, contribute to that huge collective goal. The success of OES 2.0 really hinges on this disciplined, singular focus.
Okay, this brings us to the why now, connecting these directives to the strategic timeline. This rise, reset, refocus message appearing on the dashboard now. That's not random, is it?
Oh, definitely not. It's strategically crucial timing, perfectly aligned, operating on several levels at once.
The sources point to specific drivers.
Yes, if we look at the strategic context laid out, there seem to be three main reinforcing reasons why this is the perfect moment for this message.
Walk us through those drivers.
Technical readiness. The new OES ecosystem, after its internal architectural reset, is live and working. It's not just stable, it's delivering new, powerful features.
Especially the financial tools.
Critically, yes. The high-speed capability of O-Wallet is essential for global payments. So technically, the platform is ready for the world stage.
Makes sense. Driver number 2.
Market expansion strategy. The company is explicitly moving into a global launch phase. That means attracting huge numbers of new users, opening new markets.
Securing global partnerships.
All of that. And to manage that massive influx successfully, you need your existing member base to be unified, professional, and totally aligned on the same page.
Which brings us to driver number 3, tying back to what we discussed earlier, the mindset, preparing the existing members.
Exactly. Mindset transformation is key. OnPassive seems to understand that the sheer scale of the opportunity ahead, what the source calls that massive wave of opportunities, could actually be overwhelming.
Too much, too soon.
Potentially. So they're ensuring every member, especially the long-term ones, is mentally prepared, ready to lead, ready to mentor, ready to absorb that growth without getting paralyzed or maybe complacent.
So the pop-up is essentially a digital checkpoint.
That's a great way to think about it.
Before we hit this potentially irreversible surge of global activity, everyone needs to pause. Check their systems are clean, reset, their ambition is high, rise, and their goal is crystal clear. Refocus.
It ensures collective preparedness. Think of it like a mandatory pre-flight briefing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't launch a major international flight without the entire crew running rigorous checks, right? Technical checks, mental checks. This message is the ultimate pre-flight checklist for the whole community.
Given how ambitious the language is in the source material, massive waves, unprecedented heights, we have to touch on the risk, don't we?
The risk of setting expectations too high.
Yeah. Does the material acknowledge the danger that if growth doesn't immediately match that kind of hype, it could lead to disappointment?
That's a fair question. The source seems to address this by framing the ambition not as hype, but as a strategic necessity. The messaging aims to combat small thinking.
So it's about mindset calibration.
Exactly. While disappointment is always a risk in a big scale-up, The strategy behind the reset, particularly, is to prepare founders for success at that massive scale. By insisting on that mindset reset, they're trying to align members' internal readiness with the external potential of a global AI ecosystem.
And they provide tools to manage expectations.
Right. The response to potential over-expectation is embedded in the tools themselves, like O-Connect for communication, O-Tracker for data. These allow founders to track progress scientifically, hopefully mitigating purely emotional reactions to market ups and downs.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift to the emotional experience this creates, especially for those longtime founders, the originals.
The ones who've been waiting since the early days.
The source material describes a really profound emotional payoff for them.
You definitely see excitement for this new era, yes. But maybe even deeper than that is a sense of relief.
Relief.
Relief that the long journey, often challenging, defending against skepticism, years of development, it's finally paying off. Tangible results, operational tools,
And that generates responsibility.
a heightened sense of it. Yes, they're not just members anymore, they're the vanguard. Tasked with leading, mentoring the huge wave of new global users coming in.
Reading the excerpts, I definitely get a sense of nostalgia too. The source evokes those early days.
Late-night webinars with Ash Mufareh.
The passion, the debates about whether this global AI ecosystem could actually empower ordinary people.
People without tech backgrounds.
Yeah.
And that shared history is precisely why the Rise, Reset, Refocus message hits so hard for them. It's not just corporate talk.
It's validation.
It's confirmation of the years they invested. It feels like Ash Mufareh is speaking directly, acknowledging their persistence. We did this together, faced the critics, solved the tech hurdles. Now let's step up, rise, clean up anything holding us back, reset, and aim for true greatness. Refocus.
It validates the struggle and cements their role, from early believers to active leaders in this launch phase.
Exactly.
All right, let's pivot now from the emotional side to the purely practical, functional aspects. You emphasized earlier this dashboard message isn't just static, it's interactive.
That's absolutely vital to grasp. It's an active, dynamic part of the OES platform, designed to be immediately useful, not just inspiring.
So what happens when you click it?
The source documentation says when a member clicks on Rise, Reset, Refocus, it doesn't just dismiss, it takes them away from the main dashboard.
Into what they call a personal growth portal. Interesting term.
It is, and it's designed as a quick start guide for this new launch phase.
Okay, what's in this portal? What resources does it offer to turn those 3 words into actual tasks?
It seems quite practical. First, you get a short, punchy motivational video from leadership reinforcing the message, but then, crucially, it provides direct access to actionable resources.
Like what?
Things like a readiness checklist for the global launch, quick start guides for getting the most out of the OES,
Examples.
detailed instructions for setting up a wallet for faster withdrawals, guides on using O-Connect for talking to international teams.
Making it immediately useful for global collaboration.
Right. And it connects that conceptual reset directly to the technical nuts and bolts, especially the compliance aspect we discussed.
The O-Verify updates.
Precisely. Prominent links to new product updates, specifically focusing on how to use the improved O-Verify for that OKYC compliance.
So it makes the abstract command concrete.
Exactly. Reset becomes reset your verification status or ensure your team is fully compliant before the big wave hits. The portal bridges the philosophy and the necessary technical housekeeping.
Okay, let's tie these principles back to the core unpassive values. We've looked at the tech, the emotion. How do these 3 words reflect the company's established identity?
They map really well onto the core pillars Ash Mufareh has consistently talked about. Rise aligns perfectly with empowerment,
Giving people tools and courage.
giving them the tools, the tech, and the courage for real lasting change, moving them from just being users to being active participants, builders.
And reset, that connects to.
Innovation. Reset is the operational principle driving innovation, that commitment to constantly improving, even overhauling systems.
Staying cutting edge.
Absolutely. Being willing to ditch what's just good for what's truly great, not being afraid to optimize ruthlessly.
Which leaves refocus. That must be about purpose.
Exactly. Making sure every feature, every founder's action, every single corporate decision ladders up to that larger stated mission.
Uplifting humanity through intelligent automation.
That's the one. The source material keeps hammering this point. It's not just a tech company selling tools. It's framed as a global movement. And these 3 words, they're the streamlined marching orders for this next phase of rapid growth.
And all this preparation, this focus, it's pointing towards a huge date on the calendar,
Mm-hmm.
the global launch, targeted for July 24, 2025.
Right.
This Rise, Reset, Refocus message is clearly the intensive mandatory prep phase leading up to that moment.
It's the final readiness check before the floodgates really open. Founders are being actively encouraged through the portal, through other communications, to do specific, measurable things now.
Such as,
Updating and maybe even stress testing their O-Wallet setups, ensuring their accounts are fully verified with O-Verify, getting hands-on with the newer social tools like O-Pal and O-Chat to build those cross-border connections.
and using O-Connect.
Critically, yes.
Yeah.
Actively using O-Connect for large-scale events to share the platform, build community, basically rise into leadership roles, reset old pre-launch habits, and refocus entirely on growth and smooth collaboration before that official launch date hits.
What really stands out for me in the source material, though, is how it grounds all this philosophy in real-world examples, global examples.
Yes, it shows the practical wisdom. It illustrates these words aren't just for internal hype. They offer real direction for daily business everywhere.
Give us one of those examples.
Okay, there's a detailed one about a small business owner in Kenya. Historically, her market was just local, limited by infrastructure.
Right.
Now, using O-Shop's global logistics and payment processing, she's selling handmade cracks to customers in Europe, North America. That's a tangible example of rising above significant local limits using the OES tools.
That's powerful. How about reset in practice?
Results, operational tools,
And that generates responsibility.
a height. They're not just members anymore, they're the vanguard, tasked with leading, mentoring the huge wave of new global users coming in.
Reading the excerpts, I definitely get a sense of nostalgia, too. The source evokes those early days.
Late night webinars with Ash Mufareh.
The passion, the debates about whether this global AI ecosystem could actually empower ordinary people.
People without tech backgrounds.
Yeah.
And that shared history is precisely why the Rise, Reset, Refocus message hits so hard for them. It's not just corporate talk.
It's validation.
It's confirmation of the years they invested. It feels like Ash Mufareh speaking directly, acknowledging their persistence. We did this together, faced the critics, solved the tech hurdles. Now let's step up, rise, clean up anything holding us back, reset, and aim for true greatness. Refocus.
It validates the struggle and cements their role, from early believers to active leaders in this launch phase.
Exactly.
All right, let's pivot now from the emotional side to the purely practical, functional aspects. You emphasized earlier this dashboard message isn't just static, it's interactive.
That's absolutely vital to grasp. It's an active, dynamic part of the OES platform, designed to be immediately useful, not just inspiring.
So what happens when you click?
The source documentation says when a member clicks on Rise, Reset, Refocus, it doesn't just dismiss, it takes them away from the main dashboard.
Into what they call a personal growth portal. Interesting term.
It is, and it's designed as a quick start guide for this new launch phase.
Okay, what's in this portal? What resources does it offer to turn those 3 words into actual tasks?
It seems quite practical. First, you get a short, punchy motivational video from leadership reinforcing the message, but then, crucially, it provides direct access to actionable resources.
Like what?
Things like a readiness checklist for the global launch, quick start guides for getting the most out of the OES,
Examples.
detailed instructions for setting up O-Wallet for faster withdrawals, guides on using O-Connect features, like maybe the real-time translation for talking to international teams.
Making it immediately useful for global collaboration.
Right. And it connects that conceptual reset directly to the technical nuts and bolts, especially the compliance aspect we discussed.
The O-Verify updates.
Precisely. Prominent links to new product updates, specifically focusing on how to use the improved O-Verify for that OKYC compliance.
So it makes the abstract command concrete.
Exactly. Reset becomes reset your verification status or ensure your team is fully compliant before the big wave hits. The portal bridges the philosophy and the necessary technical housekeeping.
Okay, let's tie these principles back to the core unpassive values. We've looked at the tech, the emotion. How do these 3 words reflect the company's established identity?
They map really well onto the core pillars Ash Mufareh has consistently talked about. Rise aligns perfectly with empowerment,
Giving people tools and courage.
giving them the tools, the tech, and the courage for real lasting change, moving them from just being users to being active participants, builders.
And reset, that connects to.
Innovation. Reset is the operational principle driving innovation, that commitment to constantly improving, even overhauling systems.
Staying cutting edge.
Absolutely. Being willing to ditch what's just good for what's truly great, not being afraid to optimize ruthlessly.
Which leaves refocus. That must be about purpose.
Exactly. Making sure every feature, every founder's action, every single corporate decision ladders up to that larger stated mission.
Uplifting humanity through intelligent automation.
That's the one. The source material keeps hammering this point. It's not tools. It's framed as a global movement. And these three words, they're the streamlined marching orders for this next phase of rapid growth.
And all this preparation, this focus, it's pointing towards a huge date on the calendar. The global launch, targeted for July 24, 2025.
Right.
This Rise, Reset, Refocus message is clearly the intensive mandatory prep phase leading up to that moment.
It's the final readiness check before the floodgates really open. Founders are being actively encouraged through the portal, through other communications, to do specific, measurable things now.
Such as
Updating and maybe even stress testing their O-Wallet setups, ensuring their accounts are fully verified with O-Verify, getting hands-on with the newer social tools like OPal and OChat to build those cross-border connections.
and using OConnect.
Critically, yes.
Yeah.
Actively using OConnect for large-scale events to share the platform, build community, basically rise into leadership roles, reset old pre-launch habits, and refocus entirely on growth and smooth collaboration before that official launch date hits.
What really stands out for me in the source material, though, is how it grounds all this philosophy in real-world examples, global examples.
Yes, it shows the practical wisdom. It illustrates these words aren't just for internal hype. They offer real direction for daily business everywhere.
Give us one of those examples.
Okay, there's a detailed one about a small business owner in Kenya. Historically, her market was just local, limited by infrastructure.
Right.
Now, using OShop's global logistics and payment processing, she's selling handmade cracks to customers in Europe, North America. That's a tangible example of rising above significant local limits using the OES tools.
That's powerful. How about reset in practice?
There's a case study of a digital marketer in India. His campaign underperformed badly. Instead of just quitting or wasting more money,
He applied the reset principle.
yes, he used O-Tracker analytics, dug into the data, found exactly where his lead funnel was broken. He then reset the campaign parameters, optimized the targeting based on the data, and got much better results. It shows reset as a strategic, data-driven correction.
Not just throwing things at the wall and refocus.
There's an example of a team leader in Canada. Her team was burning out, confused about priorities.
No problem.
Very. Applying refocus, she cut out non-essential meetings and instead used Okir, the structured, secure platform for targeted, high-value mentoring and training.
Channeling energy effectively.
Exactly. Refocusing on team development and efficiency, cutting the noise. The principles work universally across different business contexts.
And the global community response described in the source confirms this message landed powerfully.
It sounds like it created a real buzz. WhatsApp groups apparently lit up with strategies. OConnect webinars saw record attendance, founders wanting to align. Social media filled with posts about how people were applying the three words personally.
A collective leveling up, as the source puts it.
It seems to signify that. A fresh, unified awakening. The digital checkpoint was passed, and the whole community started recalibrating for speed, moving from patient development to aggressive, purposeful execution. #tag outro.
So as we wrap up this really detailed deep dive, it's clear, isn't it? This Rise, Reset, Refocus message is way more than just a notification on a screen.
Miles beyond that.
The source material definitely positions it as a pivotal moment in the company's story, a digital milestone marking that crucial shift.
From preparation to execution.
From the long build-up phase to a period defined by collective action and, as the source puts it rather boldly, global domination.
And every single time a member logs in now, sees those three words, they're meant to be instantly reminded of 4 core takeaways. 4 things that define their role going forward.
Okay, what are those 4?
First, a reminder that you, the founder, are part of something much bigger than just yourself. A global movement focused on digital empowerment.
Second,
So that you have the power within you and now the tools to rise beyond obstacles. Whether that's internal doubt or external critics, the infrastructure is there.
third takeaway.
That you have the flexibility personally and organizationally to reset your path, your strategy, your mindset whenever needed. using the OES 2.0 principles to ditch inefficiency.
And the fourth?
And fourth, that you absolutely must refocus relentlessly.
Yep.
Cut through the noise, eliminate distractions, and channel your energy exclusively towards the core purpose, the global mission that truly matters. It's about operational clarity.
It really is an enduring, powerful call to action. And drawing on Ash Mufari's own words, cited in the material, the ultimate reminder for everyone in the ecosystem is this.
This isn't the end.
Not by a long shot. It's only the beginning. The future, both digitally and economically, belongs to those prepared to rise, reset, and refocus.
Which leads to, perhaps, a provocative final thought for you, our listener, to mull over. If you were to apply that same strict discipline, the unpassive ethos, to your own life or work right now, what single habit would you be compelled to reset?
And what single high-value goal would you be forced to immediately refocus on?
In order to truly rise to your own next level, the tools we discussed are digital, sure, but that wisdom for success, that feels pretty universal.